Good evening and welcome to another live stream from a home in Italy. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing really well. Let me know in the chat box. Let me know where you are. Let me know where you are in the world, what you're up to and all the rest of it. I'm on my own tonight, which some of you will be pleased. No Tony. I'll tell you about that in a second. Anyway, tonight we're doing things a little bit different tonight because we're actually going to try and put you off. No, we're not. But we are talking about potentially the negatives and some of the things that maybe we find a little bit difficult about living here in Italy. And to help me do this, we've got some guests that have been on here a few times. Let's bring them on just to say hello. We've got the fabulous Mark and Nader. Good evening.
Ciao. How are you guys doing?
Very good, thank you. A little bit stressed today, as you've known. I've not been able to talk to you pre-show, but with this weather, we've been running around a little bit and not getting anywhere fast. But how are you guys? Everything good?
Sto bene, grazie.
A bit of Italian as well. Very nice. Mark,
baby.
Are you prepared tonight by any chance? I noticed some emails.
Yeah, you mentioned to us what you want to talk about, and we decided that we could be helpful in that area because we've had to deal with challenges and figure out the right way to deal with them and actually eat a lot of crow, as we say in the U.S., because we come to Italy and got to do life differently.
There you go. We'll find out more a little bit later. See you both soon.
A presto.
Fantastic. Regulars to the show, but I thought we would do this a little bit of a different style of live stream. It's still the same thing, sort of, but we're going to do some of the negatives, some of the things that you may find difficult, and we're going to do it sort of from two perspectives, if you like. Is it perspective or anyway? We're going to do it from mine. I've obviously been here a long time. I've been coming to Italy for 20-something years, and it's and then also Mark and Nader that have just got their visas, and it's going to be from their side being here just sort of a few months and getting into life, getting into their new life in Italy. So this should all be fantastic. So that's going to be happening a little bit later. So as I did say, you will be extremely pleased to know that we've got no Tony tonight. No Tony. So there's no Tony Rocks. I'm not even going to look at any of the comments. I'm not going to put any comments up whatsoever. So anybody writing Tony Rocks, it's just a waste of time today because it's just not going to hit the screen. He did promise that he was going to pop in to see. He's actually in the UK. He's going to see his children and grandchildren. So he's somewhere in London. If anybody can hunt him down and find him in London, why are you saying boo? Oh, it's Troy. I know, it's a shame, Troy, isn't it? I know. You'll just have to switch off if I'm not good enough. He is knocking around somewhere in London. So if anybody finds him, okay, if anybody finds, I know London's a big place, but I'm offering a big prize. I'm going to offer a meal out for up to no, I better be careful. I'm a tight Yorkshireman. 4 people, a meal out with me and Silvana. If anybody can track Tony down, if he's listening now, he's just going to grab anybody off the street. But if anybody can track Tony down in London, then that's what I'm going to offer. He's there, but it has to be done within the time limits of the show. So you've got an hour. If you live in London, you better get out and get hunting down the streets. I'm not going to give you any clue, but there you go. So Troy's saying Tony Ross. It's not going to work, Troy. Not going to work. So what I will say is tonight that I am on my own, it will be a little bit difficult for me to see through the comments, but it's one of those, I bet this is Tony now, but it's one of those shows where it's more about me talking, which you'll love, that, won't you? But I will try and put some chats on here as we go along, but it's a little bit difficult to stay tuned with what I actually want to say and to put these on at the same time. I'm waffling now, aren't I? So that's it. So yeah, no Tony tonight, which means we've got no Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials, but they will be back hopefully next week. Somebody's just put, you need a zip line from the porch to the pool. Great idea. Great idea. I may well do that. For anybody that's not seen the video, it's live on YouTube. I put a bit of an update on the pool. That was on, I put that on this afternoon at 3 o'clock. And Darren saying Tony's currently rocking He certainly is. He's doing something. I've just really, he texted me actually just because I said, are you coming on to say hello? And he was looking for, I'll give you his exact words. Us Yorkshiremen are known to be quite, what's the word? I'll say tight with our funds. But I think where he's from is even worse. So I'm not going to give his location away because it doesn't actually say where he is. But he said, I'm in, and told me where it is, a particular something market, I'm not going to say where, at the moment, deciding where to eat cheaply. See, that's Tony for you. That's him all over. Anyway, there you go. He may well pop on, and we'll see where he's up to. But if anybody finds him, I'm serious. There's no way anybody is going to find him. Anyway, good evening from Faro San Martino. That's the beekeeping man. How are you doing, Dennis? Hope all is good with you guys, Dennis and Vivian. We are actually under a cyclone, believe it or not, at the moment. I have never known Abruzzo get so much rain. It's actually been quite dangerous in some parts. I know it's how a cyclone. I always get mistaken with the cyclones, thinking they were the big things that twist around, but not necessarily. That obviously tornado. But it has just rained and rained and rained and continued to rain. If it first of all hit the Tor, which I'm going to show you a photograph of the fantastic Tor that we had last week. It started. We were quite lucky on the Tor, but it went from nearly 20 degrees on the Tuesday, I think it was, Tuesday or Wednesday, and just dropped down to 2 degrees by the time Friday came. And here in Italy, there's a saying, it's called Marzo Pazzo, which basically translates as crazy March or mad March. And basically, it's because of the weather. The weather just goes absolutely. You can have 20 degrees Celsius days, 1 minute, and then be down to 2 and snowing. And that's exactly what's happening now, even though we're in April. I have never known as much rain as coming down with these last couple of days. It's horrendous. But and then they say at the Easter time we're going to be on Easter Sunday and Monday, it's going to be around about 20 degrees Celsius. So absolute madness. But there you go. So if anybody, Troy's saying he's seen the videos of snow and rain, it has been absolutely crazy. The real Rob, I'm in Split, Croatia, and the winds are crazy. It's madness. Don't know what's happening, but there you go. Somebody's saying, thinking the guest Tony's in Borough Market. No, he's not, because that's where the good food is. No, he wants cheap. Tony eats cheap food, not good food. Doesn't have to be good. It just has to be cheap. But no, that's not the market where he is. But it's still on there. You can anybody guessing or find him, then that's a promise. It's you've got about 50 minutes to find him. So yes, it's absolutely crazy at the moment. I've not managed to get out to do any videos. Obviously the videos are still going to be on. We've got one on Saturday, but then next week I need to be out on Wednesday. Luckily the weather's going to be good, and start getting some more videos out to you next week as well. So hopefully some of you have noticed we have started putting videos out on a Wednesday as well as a Saturday. So have a look at today's. It is an update on our swimming pool, and you can see where we're up to. And we're just waiting now to start work again. It's the builders are due back. The pool's full. It's not ready, but it's full of water. Okay, so what we're going to talk about to start with, just a couple of notices. So last week's tour, what an absolutely fantastic group they were. And here they are in freezing cold Sulmona. You can see the snow in the background. Bear in mind, it was 20 degrees 2 days before this, and then you can see snow on the background. But we were lucky last week. We actually managed to see, I think it was about 25 houses in 2 days. And we went from Lama di Peligna, we went to Palombaro, then we passed through Penepiedimonte onto a place called Rapino, Faro San Martino. Then we went out back to Pescara, and then on the second day we did Popoli. What else did we do? Popoli, Vittorito, Raiano, Corfigno, and then we finished. We went towards Pacentro for something to eat. And then we went to Sulmona to finish off with. So what a fantastic group! And we had our first child as well on the tour. So a big shout out to Caden, our new friend, to a home in Italy. Yeah, fantastic, absolutely brilliant group, and spirits were really, really, really high, which was brilliant. We had a mix, mainly Americans. We had a couple of Brits thrown in there as well. I think we had four Brits in there, and the rest, or 5 Brits, and then the rest spread mainly in America. But absolutely brilliant. So if you are considering coming on a tour, then please go onto the website www.homeinitaly.com. Take a look at what we do, and come and join us. It's fantastic because the group, every single group's the same. We create a WhatsApp group, and people start talking to each other well before the tour actually starts. And then the way people gel together on these couple of days, and it's great that everybody stays in the Pescara area, and lots of people then end up going out with each other in the evening times. But people make some really good friends, and it's so nice to see the comments that people write to each other, and we keep the groups open afterwards as well. And yeah, it's a special thing when people are together, and looking at the past tours that we've done and over the last few years, there's still some of the early tours that still talk to each other on WhatsApp. So it is a great way, great way to see the area, great way to see lots of properties, and a great way to meet some people as well, to help encourage and give you that little bit of extra what's the word, courage, if you want to call it that, to come out here and buy a property here. And on that note, I'm actually going to let me bring Mark and Nadia back on just for a second. I'm bringing you on, guys, because we've got the you have to bear with me now. I'm having to do all this myself. It's horrendous. You could have helped me with all of this, Mark. This, the putting all these up like Tony usually does. That could have been your job tonight. I should have got in touch with you before. We're doing Stunning Photo of the Week. I brought you guys on because this was taken by Gary and Renee, who recently bought, and I'm sure I've seen Gary writing something on the chat, so I'm sure he's watching. They've just bought in Castelvecchio, which is Castelvecchio Subequo, which is not too far from you, is it? How did you guys bump into each other?
I don't know. I don't remember. We've run into so many of your people.
Oh, they reached out to us.
Oh, that's right.
I think because they saw us on the show.
And we live in what used to be a bed and breakfast. So we've had all this last month. We've had 3 different couples spending the night with us.
I mean, careful. I mean, obviously, I know usually
we're family oriented.
Excellent. But Gary and Randy sent me this photograph, a great photo, even though the skies are grey, but it is a superb photograph. I'm presuming this is from your house because it looks like it's from Capistrano. Let me put it on now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a great photo. We were sitting out in the cold by our pool that's still closed up, but we were sitting out there and enjoying the view, and the rainbow showed up. And we actually have a photo with all 4 of us with the rainbow in the middle. Really? Just stunning, to use your word.
Excellent. Well, that is this week's Stunning Photo of the Week. So thank you very much, Gary and Renee. And but it is great that just briefly talking about this for a second before we get on to the subject. That this, I'm going to call it the Home in Italy family, but it is superb that obviously people come on here, they chat with each other, they've chatted with you, and then obviously met you guys, and now all of a sudden become friends. I know we don't want to all be sort of next to expats and stuff, but it is great to still have a group of people sort of that speak the same language, isn't it?
It does. In fact, we work so hard at learning Italian that it's actually a nice respite to speak English and not have to concentrate and focus on our Italian.
Yeah. But it's it's really good. I'm really pleased that you met them, and I've never met them. Again, like many people, never met them. It's all been done on the internet. They've got the keys. They've been there, but I'm looking forward to meeting them as well. Okay, I'll bring you back on in about 10-15 minutes. Okay, we'll see you soon.
We'll be here.
Okay, so that's Stunning Photo of the Week. No sign of Tony. He said he was going to pop in and say hello, but there you go. Okay, so this week's, I mentioned the tour. Obviously, have a look as well while you're on the website. Have a look at Patreon. There's lots of links to Patreon. It was only the other day I was looking, because on Patreon we also have some video properties that don't appear anywhere else. They're just exclusive to Patreon. And the number of Patreons that we've got into properties that have not appeared on the channel and not had videos done is fantastic. And it is working exactly the way that we wanted to do for people that are really ready now. I know there's lots of people that sort of look and they're thinking about it maybe in the next year or the next 2 years or maybe never. And that's all fine. That's what all these programs are for. That's what this program is for, the live one. That's what all our videos are for. But then obviously there's a group of people that are really ready and desperate to buy something. And Patreon is working so well for that particular group of persons, if you want to say that. And yeah, the number of patrons we've managed to get into houses is fantastic. So if you are interested in something like that, go and have a look. The other great thing with Patreon is there is access to a forum as well, so you can go on the forum and meet people like Mark and Nada and people that live in the area or that may be considering buying or living here, or maybe they've got a holiday home here. It is just a great source of I want it to really to become a good community on there. It's going to take time, because these things do take time to start building it up properly, but hopefully the foundations are there now. And the idea is that everybody's here to support each other. That's what we've always wanted to create as part of this business that we do, is to create a good support network of people that's going to do the business for you, but also people that's going to be here for you, even when it comes to, I don't know, having a night out or just to get that little bit of extra support. So yeah, so join the Home in Italy family. Okay, guys, so having said all of that, what my job is tonight is not to put you off, but I want to just give you some of the negative. I don't even want to say negative, because I don't think it is negative, but I want to show you some of the things that I've found difficult in the long time that we've been here, and still possibly find some of these I've got easier. And I was sat here today, and we were obviously working together, me and Silvana, and I said to her, you need to give me some ideas. I've got to think of negative things or things that I find difficult about being here in Italy. And it was hard to do. Once I got into it, I managed to get 10. Some of them are a little bit, and not so, the little things that's in my mind, but they absolutely mean nothing. And some of them are more over now than what I was before, but they are genuine things. And obviously then we'll hear from Mark and Nades to get their take on it as well. So I'm going to give you my top 10. When you see the first one and the second one, you're going to think I'm completely nuts. But these are just little things. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying maybe even things that you miss as well. I probably should have said that. It's not just all about things that you struggle with, but things that things also that you miss. So I'm going to start with number 10. Let's bring that on. Don't laugh. And I know you. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on a minute. See, he always jumps on just at that point, doesn't he? Just to spoil things. Just as I'm getting into it. We better bring him on, haven't we, to say hello. Here he is.
Hey, boy.
I was just about to get started.
I know. I picked my timing.
Yeah. Have you found your cheap restaurant?
No.
Good. Well, if anybody grabs you in the next 45 minutes, I've said if anybody finds you and jumps on the video with you, that I'll pay for their meal out here. Up to 4 people, I've said. So if anybody suddenly jumps on you, I've not told them where you are. I've not told them. Some people that live in London may recognise the background.
Okay. I've been in. Well, I'm actually in Spitalfields.
You're not allowed to say it.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you've just said it now.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
in a fish and chip shop.
So you're really pushing the boat out tonight.
Yeah. Well, last night we did eat near Paddington, Italian. Really good Italian, actually. It was good.
So you live in Italy and you went back to England to eat an Italian.
I know.
Shocking.
Just couldn't resist.
Is,
It's
is,
just so
the,
nice.
is the weather nice there or something? You're in a t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah, it is actually. Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's absolutely throwing it down.
Yeah.
Big style
Yeah.
here. Big style.
I've put some cream on and whatnot because it's far too sunny for me.
Can't believe it. No doubt. It'll only be for 2 days. It'll be terrible again. So, is Mila with you?
Yes, yeah.
Can't we say hello? I know she don't
No,
like it.
because she's banyan hunting at the moment,
She's what hunting?
looking for the toilet.
Oh, Banyo. Sorry, I didn't.
Not banyan.
I probably should have done. I shouldn't have carried on the way I did. Anyway, okay, mate. Enjoy your time.
I
Are
will
you
do.
going to be back?
Hi,
on next,
everybody. By
are
the
you
way,
going to be back on next week?
yes, I think so. No, yes, yeah. I'm trying to think what day of the week it is. Yes.
So Darren's saying he's in London, Dave. Nothing's cheap, especially in Spitalfields. Or Spit, what's it called? What's it called? Spit now.
No, it's
there
not.
you go. So how much is, just so we know, how much, don't tell us the name of the place, how much is fish and chips costing you?
Well, it is. A regular is £21.99 with chips.
Oh, thanks. So
That's the 2 nights before I paid £16 for fish, then I had to pay more for chips. What's going on?
$21.99 for fish and chips.
Yeah,
Anyway, enjoy.
that's life. London life.
London life. Not be long, you'll be back in a brood, so. Okay, mate, have a great time.
Yeah,
hello.
see you guys.
Say hello
Yeah,
to
see you
Mila
later.
and the family.
I
Speak
will
to you
do.
soon.
Yeah, will do.
Okay.
Speak to you soon.
See you
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye bye. There you go. He's so tight though, and fish and chips, taking his wife out for fish and chips, that is absolutely shocking. Anyway, so let's where were we? Number 10. So here we go. So don't take the mess of the first. Why can't I get, I'm still seeing Tony on my screen. Why have I not got the hold on. Let me get rid of him. I'm just seeing his face. Let me get what I'm supposed to be getting on here. Bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Number 10. I know this is really shallow of me, but I was struggling. I was struggling to get up to 10. So yes, no local Thai restaurants. I know it's sad, but you know, the idea of this is to talk about what we miss and that kind of thing. So I do miss Thai food. There is, however, an amazing one that we found after all the years of, I mean, we've been coming here 26, nearly 30, God, I can't believe it's 30 years soon, 29 years that we've been coming here. And I found a Thai restaurant in Rome that is absolutely incredible. And we actually sometimes go to Rome just to go to that Thai restaurant, even if it means coming back in the evening time. I know that's sad. And it's near the, I've completely forgot the name of the Villa something, which I can't, the big park in the center of Rome, which I can't remember the name. And it is absolutely incredible. I know it's sad. These excuses do get better as we go along. Not excuses, but these things that even though the second one's a little bit shallow as well. In fact, this second one may be even more shallow than my first one. But here you go. You asked for it. You wanted me to do this program, so here we go. Number 9. And I know what you're saying, but hear me out. Hear me out what I'm saying. If somebody's just tuning in now and they just see chips with pizza, this is just like a really, really low budget cookery program. So if anybody's just joining us now, this is what you're going to learn how to make. I'll tell you why. Because in Italy, this is going to be something for you to understand as well. Not to understand, to know, and it just frustrates people. So when we first moved here, in the UK, when you order pizza and chips, you eat pizza and chips, as in pizza with chips at the side. When we first moved here, we used to go to pizzerias and we would order pizza and chips. And they would bring chips as a starter. And it used to drive me insane, absolutely drive me insane. And I'm so sad, aren't I? If Silvana's watching this, she's going to be like, what on earth are you talking about? But it's a reality thing. It is a reality thing that we used to order pizza and chips and you never get it because Italians don't have pizza and chips. They have pizza, they have chips as a starter, as a separate dish, and then pizza. You put the two together and it's like you've just, I don't know, like you've told them the worst thing ever, like Italy not being in the World Cup this year. Anyway, but it is true. And we used to go out, we used to say to people, we used to go to all these restaurants and say, look, I know that the Italians do it this way, but we want ours together. And no matter how many restaurants we used to go to, they would never do it. Or they would bring the chips out, bring the pizza out and then sort of walk past with the chips almost to test you out and then take them, give them to somebody else. And this then transforms into, I'm over this now, by the way, because if we don't get the chips as a starter and we get it in together with a pizza, that annoys me now. So I'm going to completely the opposite. But why am I talking? Things that, I'm really getting desperate for subjects. You're going to have to help me out. But there is trouble, and it comes down to a cultural thing as well, even when it comes to food, because Italians are very regimented on food. The times you have food is a huge thing. And that'll be something I'll talk about in a second. But also what you have with food, and there's no change in it. You can't change it. That's just the way it is. And I know we should accept it. But if I want chips with my pizza, then that's what I want. But that's one thing that they do. And also, for instance, when you have meat, sometimes meat will come with vegetables. Again, if you order chips, you will usually get those as a starter. Italians eat bread with meat. If you don't bring bread, if you're making food for somebody, you're making food for Italians, and they come and they want meat. If you don't give them bread when they're eating meat, then you may as well just throw the meat in the bin. So I know these are cultural things, but that's just one thing. It used to annoy me. It doesn't annoy me anymore. Just to get it straight. Okay, so we are happy. We are shocking, aren't we? This I'll add the chips on pizza. I'll add chips on pizza was pretty awful. You see, I used to think it was, but I don't mind it as much now. Why would anyone want chips with their pizza? Gary, I'm so you're now so everybody's slating me. I thought this was a bad thing. That's what we do in England. Are we just nuts? Is it just us Brits? People, come on, Brits, stick up for me. There's too many Americans on this live now. We need to get some Brits out there. Anyway, there you go. So that's number 9. Okay, they do start to get a little bit more, more serious as we go along. I'm waiting for a Brit to come and back me up to say that we do have pizza and chips in the UK. Anyway, here we go. Number 8. I can't remember. Is this? Opening times. This is one I do sometimes still struggle with. In the past, it used to be a nightmare. People used to say to me, if you don't, it used to actually be Silvana's grandma, when we used to come here on holiday, and we used to want to go to we would go to a market or something like that, as everybody does. You decide tomorrow we're going to go to the market. And obviously we were on holiday. So we would get up 10, 10:30, whatever it was, and maybe even later. And Silvana's grandma always used to say to us, because by then she was making dinner. So we'd already said we're going to the market. And she always used to say, what, are you going to help them pack away? And I did used to find it quite funny when she said that. And she was deadly serious because, in Italy, you need to be up in the morning and you need to get things done. Now, when you're working, that's fine because we're up and we're out. If the kids were at school, the times to do things. But when you're here, maybe in retirement or on holiday or anything like that, you may find it a little bit of a struggle because you have to get everything done within certain times. And if you don't get your post office in, your post office trip in, and maybe your bank, and then somewhere else, which sorry, somebody's saying, love pizza and chips. We wanted chips when we went to Carrara in the 70s, but they thought we wanted a whole chicken. So, a slight, how can you get chicken or, anyway, we're still going on to that subject now. But yeah, so the opening times sometimes can be a little bit awkward. So you have to do everything, anything official. So post office, banks, anything like that, especially in smaller towns, maybe not so much in the bigger cities, but in the smaller towns, post office usually only open in the morning. So you've got up until 1 o'clock to get your life sorted out. And then that's it. So all your admin type things you've got to do. And then you've got to wait then until 4 o'clock if maybe it's shops. I know some of the bigger supermarkets, things are slightly changing, but there's lots of things that don't. And I think the one, I'm used to it now, and I understand how it works. And I actually love that 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock pause. And it's not usually as long as that by the time you travel or you've got kids coming back from school or the rest of it. But it is, you do get used to that and it becomes part of Italian life. And I love that break in the afternoon and then getting back to work. We only have a break for an hour and a half, maybe, or an hour, sometimes less than that. But when you're sort of relaxing, or maybe you've got a week off or something like that, I think they've got the times really, really good. The only part of times that I struggle with at the moment, after all the years of living here, is I would sometimes just like to go out at 5, 6 o'clock to eat. I know in the UK, I don't know about anywhere else in the world, but in the UK, I mean, Tony's eating there at 6:30 now. You saw the restaurants full. That is typical in the UK. And I'm presuming possibly it's the same in other countries as well, but in the UK, perfectly acceptable. Or even if it's a Saturday and you wanted to go and have lunch at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. In Italy, that doesn't happen. Yes, in tourist places, in Rome and places like that, it is completely different. But in these smaller towns and things like that, it just doesn't happen. You just can't do it. When you go out to eat, the restaurants won't open while 8 o'clock. You know, so you look at now, some of them have started to open at 7:30, reluctantly starting to open. But you won't see, some people will come and they'll say, we've been to some fantastic restaurants, you know, but there's never anybody in them. And that's because they come at certain times, and maybe at 8:30, 9 o'clock, people are on their way back home. And that's when the Italians come out. So I always found it strange to start with. The only one after all these years that I'm still struggling with is the food thing. I would like to just say, if I want to eat at 4 or 5 o'clock, that's what time I'll eat. Whereas here they say that's what time you feed the chickens. Well, there you go. That's another one. Number 7, paying and discussions about paying it. This I found really strange when we moved here. And I still find I don't struggle with it, but sometimes it stresses me out. I can be a Mr. Stresshead. Silvana always says that people don't see the real you. Nice of her to say that, isn't it? Because I do get a little bit stressed sometimes, whereas Silvana's as calm as anything, which is why she looks after doing all the things with utility companies, which I'll get onto them shortly. So paying and discussions about it. What I mean by that, when we first came here, whenever we ordered anything, because we needed lots of things for the house and that sort of thing, whenever we ordered anything, people just... It got to talking about payment, and it's almost like they didn't want to offend you. And I was like, I just want to know how much it is. In the UK, and I'm guessing in other countries as well, it's a simple thing. You want to buy something, you go choose a kitchen or something else, something like that. You just ask how much it is, and they tell you how much it is, and then you say, well, how much do I pay now? How much do I pay later? So on and so on. Whereas in Italy, it's like, oh, don't worry, we'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. It's very, they want to take the money, but they don't want to talk about money. They find it, they don't want to offend you about it. And it becomes a weird conversation, because then I know now, living here, that if you don't get to the nitty-gritty thing of it, then you walk out of the shop, or you walk out, you've seen the builders, nobody's mentioned anything about how payment works, how the rest of it works. And what happens then is nothing happens. And then people contact us and say, we got in touch with the builder who you recommended, or we got in touch with this that you recommend. And there doesn't seem to be, they came out, they did everything, but now we don't know what's what. And we know straight away the reason for it. And it's always to do with that. It's this weird taboo type thing, which I can't get my head around it. You know, which, why our business includes all fees and taxes, because I like it simple. That's how much it is. You know what you're paying. We know what we're getting. The owner knows what they get. Everybody knows what they're getting, and that's it. Let's move on. You pay this, you do that, send that money there, do this, finished. This system for an Italian would be like their version of hell, because it's far too organized. It needs to be sat, discussed. I don't want to offend. I've even had some people that have put adverts on the channel, sold the properties instantly, and it's all happened too quick for them. And it's all happened too because they don't understand. It's like, well, this is how much. This is what you wanted. It's all about having the discussions and the rest of it. Gary's saying we had this paying issue with the gentleman that hauled away stuff left behind in our house that we didn't want. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened, Gary. And they were like, you have to tell me about that. But it's so weird. And it's great that sometimes you get things almost for free, but you just want to understand how it works. And if somebody's due to be paid, I'll pay you. Because if you come and you want to do a favor for me, but I want to pay you, then if you don't come back, I'm going to be thinking, why aren't you coming back? And then tensions get there. And it's a weird thing. You just think, let's just sort it out. Just see how much it is. So that's another thing. Number 6, road signs for towns. This still gets me. The whole road sign thing is a little bit stressful over here. This does drive me insane. Even now, that you have, and anywhere else in the world, you have left, you have right, and you have straight on. So forget about roundabouts. Or no, even on roundabout, you have left, you have right, you have straight on. In Italy, they don't. They have left, they have right, and then they have signs that sort of look like they're going left, but they're slightly tilted in a way where they actually mean straight on. And just do a little arrow that points up to say that way. So you have these signs that now I know if the whole sign goes to a point, it means one thing. And then there's it just drives me insane. That does still get to me. You know, you get to a roundabout left, I can see left, right. Then you get one that's just slightly tilted. Now I know that usually means straight on. Why can't you just put a straight on sign? It's so easy. It's so easy. So that drives me insane. And another one that I've just thought of, putting zebra crossings, which I'm presuming everybody else, the black and white things. I think Italians just think that it's decoration. It's street art. Putting zebra crossings just after a roundabout makes no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever, because you're on a roundabout. Italians already don't know how to use roundabouts. And I know it was fairly new in some Americans may not know how to use them. But when you're on a roundabout, the idea is you get on the roundabout and safely get off the roundabout. But when you safely get off the roundabout and realize that 2 meters after it is a zebra crossing and somebody's crossing, not only are you stopping, then they're piling up behind you on a roundabout. You're creating traffic on a roundabout that the roundabout was put there to keep traffic flowing. Whoever designed that, I would love to speak to that person to say, please tell, there is no, unless somebody can tell me on here, there is no common sense to that. None whatsoever. Roundabouts are there to keep traffic flowing, and you put a zebra crossing within 10 meters of it. And the whole of Pescara is like that. Some of the busiest streets in Pescara, every roundabout, there's a zebra crossing after it. And it drives me insane. I can feel myself getting stressed. I should have brought wine. I'm coming to you guys really soon. Mark and Nate, I'm coming to you soon. Okay. Online options. I'm going to do a quick one for this because I want to bring them on. What I mean by that is just being able to just go online and do something. So whether it's tax returns, you know, whether it's just something that if I want to just do something online, and they are trying, things are getting better. But when you get to the end and you just know it's not going to work, and it says, you know, it says error or something like that, you just so that does drive me a little bit insane. So that's a fairly big one. Number 4, queues. I can say nothing about that, because Italians queuing is just a minefield. It doesn't exist. And the older you get, the worse they are. And it gets to the point where you have to be that person that says, excuse me, can you not see me? Because sometimes even the sweetest old ladies, they're the worst. The sweet old ladies at nearly 90 years old that you think, superb that she'd made it to 90 years old, and what a sweet old lady, and you're stood there in the queue and she jumps in front of you. So that's another one. But you do have to be strong. You do have to be strong and just sort of say, no, excuse me, I'm big enough. You can't say you didn't see me. I'm 4 times your size. The B-Man, I love driving here in Alpanda. I feel like I'm playing a game of Mario Kart. It is true. I don't... Anyway. But yeah, queues is a big one. Drivers, I've always said it, and I know you shouldn't say this, worst drivers in the world, and of anywhere I've been. Somebody else may tell me differently. Worst, hands down, worst drivers in the world. Not necessarily dangerous. You don't actually see many accidents in these parts. It's strange that you don't. It's just the sheer stupidity of what will happen. And sometimes you just have to think, well, that's... I remember when my son was going to Ancona, he was in the hospital and in Ancona, and somebody couldn't find a car parking space, so they pulled on top of a roundabout and just left the car in the middle. And even the vigili, the police that would write the ticket, I think they just looked and just thought, I don't know if I can legally write this person a ticket. But they're just, driving crazy. Then we've got 2, the language. I'm going to go with this more when Mark and Nada come on, which they're coming on in a few minutes. But the language is a big one. Even though I feel like I'm fluent, there's just, you do miss that, just being able to just write. If I'm dealing with an English-speaking company and I send an email, it's just so simple because I'll just write it and that's it. And even though I speak the language and everything else, and I know this is going to be a huge one, this was possibly going to be number 1, and I reckon it'll be number 1 for the vast majority of people. For me, it slipped down to number 2 because I do know the language better, but I do sometimes still find it not frustrating, because it's for me to learn and to be completely fluent. But it's just your brain, you think, especially when you're stressed or you're thinking about other things, and you think, oh God, I've got to say that in Italian now. So that can be a little bit challenging. This is my pet hate. This is the one that I have not got used to and will not get used to. And I feel that somebody needs to set up a good customer service business, because Italians are the nicest people in the world. People here are incredible. Our neighbors are incredible. Everybody is just, you move here because of the people. Put them behind a desk or a telephone, and it's like David Banner and the Hulk. And it is so, some of the things that people will say is just mind-blowing, and customer service for that kind of thing is 0. I'm not talking about sort of customer services in terms of somebody's done a job for you, fit a kitchen, a builder. No, the opposite. I'm talking about officers, and in particular, water officers, gas officers, electrical, all the things that we offer as part of our all-inclusive package. And Silvana sits here. I have to walk out the office sometimes because I cannot cope with what I hear on the other end of the telephone. She knows how to deal with them and deals with them. I would have all of you cut off because I would just tell them what to do with their electric. It is horrendous. It is the only thing. I would never move back anywhere for anybody else. None of these would change my views on Italy or moving here. None whatsoever. I've had to really, really think about these. But this one drives me insane. And have I put anybody off yet? Am I doing a good job? I better bring some nice people on now. But anyway, that one, thank God, Silvana, she looks after these utility companies. How she does it, I've absolutely no idea. But that's my top 10. So we've gone from pizza and chips, Thai restaurants, down to customer service. That's the only one out of all of them that I still can't get my head around. And I have to be somebody I'm not when I speak to these people. but luckily I don't. Okay, so that's my top 10. I'm now bringing. Hi guys. I am sorry.
Have you thought that maybe the reason Silvana does such a great job with customer service is because she's been with you for so long?
It may well be. Am I giving you that impression that I'm quite a stressful person?
You had us laughing at all of them.
Okay, so I thought this would be a quick one. I'm already 45 minutes in. I know people say I talk too much, but there you go. So, guys, you tell me, you're coming now hot off the press, fresh in Abruzzo. I'm sure people have seen you on these lives before. You bought in Capistrano. You moved out full-time when?
December 10th. I think that was our flight back.
Right, but before that, you'd sort of been on and off for a few months, hadn't you, and that sort of thing. So December 10th was the full time. You're here now, so you've had 5 months, 4 months.
About 3.5 months, going on 4.
Right. Okay. So I'm presuming both. So we're nobody's going to influence anybody. Just tell me if any of those that I've said ring true to you yet, or what the kind of thing, as somebody 4 months in, what would you say is the hard things at the moment?
Well, we were, the very first thing that we both came up with was the language. The language is such a challenge, and part of our attitude coming from the U.S. was we want to make sure that we do assimilate. We don't think it's anybody else's responsibility to be able to speak with us in English. It's our responsibility to speak to them in Italian. And I love that attitude, but holy smokes, is it tough.
It affects absolutely everything that you do in every day.
Yeah.
The key for us, we study Italian every day. We do some apps, but they will never bring you fluency. We study with an online tutor 3 times a week. We're serious about learning the language, but we have this cute little couple, Ivana and Romano, that we meet up at the piazza almost every day. And when we first came back here, she chided us. Tell them what she said.
Yeah, well, when we came back, it was December, and the weather's not that great. And in the summertime, we used to go every single day when we walked. But not so much when we first got back. And she said, you can learn all the grammar you want through a tutor or whatever, but you will never learn to speak unless you're here speaking with someone like us.
I agree.
So we've on days even that we don't feel like going outside because it's freezing cold, we'll make our way up to the piazza because, and the other thing too is that it is so difficult to sit through that process and try and have a conversation with somebody and try and understand what they're saying and then try and respond, that there's just so much mental effort there that also is a deterrent. Like, do I have the energy to do that?
The really good thing that we have found is critical. The really good thing that we found, though, is Ivana and Romano are very patient with us.
Yes.
When we were here a year earlier, we met this couple that had become just close, sweet, older friends of ours. And I remember the first few times we talked, he was not very patient with us. He's become much more patient since then. But that's also part of the key. We've got to find people that are willing to be patient with us. Yes. And that's not always easy to do.
No, I mean, I think with the language, I had it at number 2 because it is still, and I speak the language. I know I'm not sort of fluent, and my brain, the way it works, the way it thinks, a lot of it is in Italian now, and I tend to forget some words of English, but it's still there for me. And I've said I'm lucky in the sense of, obviously, Silvana speaks fluent Italian, the kids speak fluent. If I really need something that I don't know, I've only got to turn around, and a meter away, somebody's going to help me. And I do sympathize with people learning the language because it's very difficult to do. You have to do it, as you said, Nadia. You've got to be here. You have to be here. You have to be having those conversations. Whoever it was that said that to you, that you cannot. Books are great to a certain level. but it just doesn't beat sort of being here and using it and using it and
Right.
using it. But I know that's part of the fun as well. And some people will say, well, that's part of the fun. We look forward to doing that. And I do, but in your brain, it does sometimes hurt a little bit, doesn't it?
Right.
And if you had asked me at the beginning of this a year and a half ago, or two, gosh, it's been almost 2 years now, I would have thought that after 2 years of a language app and a whole
Study.
year and 3 months with a private tutor 3 days a week, that I would be much further than I am now.
But I got to tell you, Neda is learning the language. It's really fun to sit there with Ivana and Romano. And me, I act like I know what they're saying, but I'm watching Neda's eyes, and she does know what they're saying. So
Right.
it's coming along, but slowly.
You know something, that I mean, the first thing somebody told me this age a long time ago, and it is true, you will understand far more than how much than you can speak. And then that it suddenly something changes after that time. And it is true. But you'll be surprised how much you know, both of you. And it's only when people that maybe come to visit you, or somebody that doesn't, they'll hear you and they'll say, you know, wow, you can speak well. And it happens all the time, because now you're going to be hard on yourselves thinking, I've been here 2 years. Tony's been here 15 years and knows 3 words. So don't use his books.
Well, you know, I put an app up on our park. We do a monthly post, and I put an app up, a video up, and it's along the same subject. I said, "Don't ask me." And in the video, I'm listening to it. And I said, "Oh, see, yeah." And then at the end of the video, when I wrote, "I have no clue what he was talking about." I made it sound like I did.
Yeah, Mark does too much of it.
You know, you brought up to a point that goes into another one of ours, which is assimilation. We realize completely that it's so much easier to take the time to talk to expats.
Yes.
But if we're going to assimilate, we've got to spend time with the locals.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with spending time with the expats, and we do. And this Sunday, we're going to do Pascua with some expats in Rayano. But we've got to spend time with the locals.
Yeah.
There's an acceptance that comes from spending time with the locals.
Definitely. And I think the people that are most successful in being here and staying here long term are the ones that have made the effort. And to be honest, the vast majority do, but I've known a few people that have not made any effort, and they were back in the UK within no time at all. And
well, not only that, not only might they return wherever they came from, but the other thing that we notice is the locals know that they aren't interested in assimilating.
I agree with you, definitely. And I think the thing Gary's saying, that he used Google Translate and it's exhausting using that all day, and it is exhausting using that all day, and it's a great tool, but it's just one of the things that we all have to get used to, isn't it? We have to do this, and the flip side to it all is, once you have started to master a little bit the language, I'm not talking about mastering everything, because none of us will ever do that, but it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding, and I think
I learned this keyword.
Mistakes is really important.
I learned this key word using Google Translate. Dimi. So I just put it right up to their face, and I'll say "Dimi," and they talk to me in Italian.
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, Darren saying apps teach you lots of words, which putting them into sentences takes time to master. That is true. But having said all of that, if you have the words, because that's what I found, that to start with, I try to fill my head with words. Forget about trying to put them in sentences for now, because if you that does tend to come. But if you say, you know, dog, car, something else, people start to think, hang on a minute, they're saying this, so at least you're trying, and you can have a bit of fun with it and the rest of it as well. But but then when you hear usually what an Italian will do, will then repeat something.
You just froze up. I'm not sure if David is lost or what happened. I don't even know if people can hear us, but let's continue. One of the other things we wrote was you're coming to a new culture. You can't expect things to be here like they were in the place you're leaving. How did we write it? Don't come to Italy expecting it to be like the country you are coming from. It'll just lead to frustration. You want to do the next one?
Okay. Yeah, and going along with that too.
We're back.
Not sure if David's
Sorry about that. I
online
don't know
or
what
not,
happened.
but, going along with that too is that accepting the culture for a new culture. You're coming to experience a different culture. So instead of trying to change it, embracing the piano, understanding that things are going to be slow when you get here.
Slow.
There is no changing that. So if you are
Can you
able
guys-
to accept
can you guys
that,
hear-
then it'll
can you
make
guys
things
hear me
go
now?
more
Can anybody-
smoothly.
Can
Yeah.
anybody?
And the other thing was driving test preparation. You cannot start preparing early enough. We started preparing almost 2 years ago.
Yes. We bought a driving manual immediately. We read through it in English all last year, and then we've been studying it in Italian since then, and just working really hard to understand that, because that'll be extremely difficult when
Yeah.
we get to that.
Sorry, can I interrupt? Can you,
Yeah.
Mark? Can you hear me now?
And something else that we written, and I'm afraid I'm sounding like your dad when I say this, but I don't mean it to sound this way, but it's important. We made a decision the moment we moved here that we had to realize that we are guests in somebody else's country. Especially being from the US, it's easy to have a different attitude. But we can't. We constantly recognize that we are guests in somebody else's country. And I think that goes to the way we deal with the locals around here. There's this phrase that they call Nada and I, and it's kind of embarrassing, but they see something in us and they lean in close and they say, "You are beautiful people." I'm not exactly sure what they mean by that, but I think they recognize that we are sincerely wanting to be their friends. And so that's what we get to do.
But it also applies to driving.
Mm.
Everybody talks about how the Italian drivers are crazy and they don't pay attention to the rules and all of that. But as Mark said, we are guests in a foreign country, so we are held to a higher standard. So we can't say, well, the Italians are driving that way, we can get away with it too. But as soon as you get pulled over and you're a foreigner, then things will change. So we take the attitude that we are guests in a foreign country.
Plus,
Sorry, guys, I'm just interrupting them. I'm not sure what Mark and Nada can see. Can anybody just confirm if they can see me at the moment? Just me. If we can try, if somebody can write on and just let me know if anybody can see me, because I think they're still talking to each other. But if you let me know if there's just me on your screens, if somebody can type in, that would be fantastic. And then we'll bring Mark and Nada back on to finish up. Anybody can see? Anybody? So people can see. Okay, so obviously Mark and Nada can't. They're just talking to themselves, I think. Let me
was the right one to do.
Mark, can you see me?
Do you want to do that one?
Talk about it.
All right. What do you?
Okay, what I've done, I'm going to send Mark. I hope you get this message. Can you just log in again on the link because you couldn't see me? If you could just log in again, hopefully it's going to work. Guys, I'm sorry about this. Don't know what happened there. If you can just, they don't seem to be able to hear or see me, which is, I don't know what happened then. I'm presuming I'm not talking to myself. I'm presuming you can still, if you can just let me know. I've just sent Mark a message just to see if they can log in again. So let's see if they manage to do. If somebody can just confirm as well that you can see me, and then hopefully we'll get things back up and running in a second. It's always a shame when things like that happen. So see and hear you, Dave, and also see and hear Mark. That's a bit strange if they're still on. I'm presuming we're just talking over each other. I have absolutely no idea what is going off at the moment, but hopefully Mark is going to log out. If people are still seeing all of us, see and hear loud and clear. Okay, so people are just seeing, here they come. Let's get them back on. Hi guys,
Hey,
can you
we had
hear
a great show while you were gone.
The thing is, Matt, I had to kick you off the show because people could see both. They could see me still, but you obviously couldn't. So you were talking, I was talking, and it was all getting rather fun. But anyway, you're back on now. Thank you for taking over. I really appreciate that. I don't know what you said, but everybody's
I'll
on
send you
now.
my bill later. We have good customer service here, so don't worry.
Oh, you're doing okay. I'll let you carry on then, and then I will, and I'll listen to you and jump in where possible.
I don't know where we left off. Let me see. Well, one of the things we talked about was having a good attitude, understanding that piano here
Yes,
is the doggone lifestyle.
definitely.
So it's our responsibility to come here with the attitude that piano is the way we will do the rest of our lives.
Yes, and I think as well with the piano thing, and I think it's in some instances it can be a little bit of a nightmare in some instances.
See?
But let's be honest, the vast majority of instances, do we really need to rush as much as we do? When I first moved here, I remember blowing the horn on the car so many times for people to get out of my way, or why is this person pulled up at the side of the road talking to this person? And whereas here it's like, what's the big deal? You know, we're not in a rush. We don't have to run around. So even though piano can be in some instances difficult to get hold of, I think to have it as a general rule how to run your life, I think we actually stop and notice more things around us than before.
Absolutely. One of the brilliant accidental, and I'm focusing on accidental, not brilliant. One of the brilliant accidental mistakes I made for my marriage, for our retirement time out here. I don't know why, but for the last 30 years, I've been known as an aggressive driver. Go figure. But when we moved here, I made the decision that I didn't want to argue about driving anymore. So I made the decision to drive almost the speed limit. Almost. Once in a while, you know. But I can tell you, I pull off on you know, where they have the area to pull. I can't tell you how many times a day I'll pull out, let people pass me, get back on, and I don't argue with my wife. I'm telling you, that's worth tons.
Ned, I'll speak to you on your own sometime, and you know you can tell me the truth. So, what would you say then is the for somebody else that's wanting to do what you guys are doing? You know, it does take some settling in, and I will say that in my experience, I think because us men are, let's be honest, we are a little bit shallow, aren't we? To be honest, the vast majority of us. And those that are not shallow, then they're not telling the truth. So I think we tend to be a little bit more, whatever, you know, that sort of thing. And I know it took Silvana, considering she's Italian, considering she wanted to move here and everything else, it took Silvana longer. It took me about 4 minutes to settle in. But it took Silvana a number of years before she actually thought, didn't even consider going back to our life in the UK. It was a good few years, 2 or 3 years, I think, before she thought, okay, no, I'm happy where I am, but still having these things, and maybe even 5 years to get to the point where it was just like, no, this is a home 100%, which, thinking about it, is a long time. How Mark, I don't even need to ask you, but Nada, how do you feel now at this stage? Because when we first spoke, you were not struggling, but you were sort of, how do you feel now? And what advice would you give to somebody that may be feeling a little bit apprehensive about it all?
Well, I can't say that the stress has gone away, but I can say that there's comfort with familiarity. So the more familiar we get to knowing where we're going, knowing where and how to get services and things we need helps with that comfort level. I'm still a little freaked out about, if I have to go to the doctor
Yep.
or if we have an emergency or something like that. And we did have one experience so far, and that's when Mark had to have a root canal. So, he had somewhat of a small emergency. At least he could wait for a few days. And our neighbor actually made an appointment with his dentist for Mark to go, and we got that taken care of. But I'm a little freaked out about that sort of thing when it comes to health, and if we needed to see a doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day stuff, I'm more and more comfortable with.
When we moved back here in December, and we're here full time. When we moved back here in December, we're here full time. I noticed about the beginning of January, and Nada and I talked about this. All of a sudden, we were much more comfortable. Her in particular, we were much more comfortable, and I think the reason was we didn't have to know. Okay, 2.5 months from now, we got to fly to Albania to play the Schengen Shuffle. It was very different when we knew we were here permanently. There was a modicum of peace that clearly came.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's I think as we're talking about the hospital thing, and I think when we first moved here, I think I've told this story on this channel before, but we were having work done at the house, and our son fell off the back of the sofa, and there were pipes sticking out of the wall where we'd not had the radiators fitted, and these pipes had like a spongy end on them just in case anybody fell into them. Had like a spongy end and then a hard plastic thing. What I didn't realize is my son had found great fun in throwing these things around the house, took them off, later then fell, and he was 18 months when we moved here. I would say it must have been no more than two and a half when it happened, or just over 2. And he fell off the back of the sofa. I heard him scream, and I went into the house, and all I could see was blood. And the way he was laid on his back, so it was his eye was completely full of blood. Obviously, I saw the pipe on the radiator, and I've never felt as vulnerable in all my life as that moment, because I thought, I don't even know the telephone number to ring. I don't even know. I can't speak the language. I don't know what telephone number to ring for the emergency services, and I was just holding him, thinking, what on earth do I do? And Silvana was there, and even though she speaks Italian, she didn't know the number either. So we called our neighbors, and they amazingly, as they always do, come round to our aid. In the end, the tube hadn't gone into his eye. It had cut just above his eye. I didn't see that. I just saw that his eye was full of blood and all the rest. But I remember thinking, I am so vulnerable here. And yeah. I had one shaky moment, and that was to do with health. Because as you say, health is after that, I thought, well, it's ridiculous that we don't know the number to ring. That should be one of the first things that, we all talk about moving here because it's an amazing place and all the rest of it, completely forgetting that at some point during our life, we are going to need these people. And emergency services, they will speak English. If the ones that don't get you straight away, within seconds, you'll get somebody that speaks English. And even if, for some reason, every single English-speaking person in Italy is not available to speak to you, that ambulance, that police, whatever, is on its way. They're not just going to say, oh, well, they can't speak English, let's go. But I just think some of the things we have to do for ourselves to try and make us, like you said, Nady, you're not looking forward to that time. But some of the basic things, like us stupidly not knowing the number, completely out.
You brought that up a number of times, and as a result of you bringing it up, Nada and I made a decision. So we have about 3 telephone numbers. If there's an emergency, we know who we call, and it begins with our next door neighbor who works at the Carabinieri, our other next door neighbor who can get us somewhere quickly, and the guy down the road who could get us somewhere immediately if we need to. Plus, I've had Nada drive to the local hospital on her own so that she knows how to get there and she knows what to do. So we've done some of those things really as a result of you sharing that story, David.
And I do think it's important. It's something that we'd never think about, and hopefully never any of us will ever use it. I do trust in the system massively. Again, in the beginning, our kids have gone through they've gone through Gianluca heart problem and Alana a problem with the spine and other problems as well. So we've gone through the system. I did feel a little bit out of control in the beginning. But what really reassured me, I know Silvana's there and I know that she speaks the language, but that didn't help me because there was things that I wanted to know. What did reassure me is how people in hospitals and doctors and things like that, they find a way of just saying, you leave it with us. We know what we're doing. And I think in emergency situations, you have to. I think, at the end of the day, if you're the one that the emergency is on, it's not that you can be there saying, can you just explain what you're doing before you do what you're doing?
You'll love this then. You'll love this then. When we were with the dentist, and I told him, look, when it comes to going to the dentist, I'm a baby, okay? And so I'm sitting there with the dentist who, by the way, had just used a drill in my tooth with no Novocaine. That was scary on its own. But I told him, I said, in my broken Italian, I said, look it. Io ho un bambini. I'm a baby. And he responded with, but I am not. Yeah. And he was brilliant. We've recommended him a number of times now. And he's in L'Aquila, a brilliant dentist.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. So you do have to have that trust. But I do understand then on another side of things that hopefully none of us have to go through. If we have to go and see a specialist and talk to that person, then I can understand, somebody being really nervous about that. But that's when you have to reach out to people. That's when you have to reach out to expats who can maybe speak the language. We've had people, reach out to. We made a when we first moved here, we offered everything to everybody, and you help people out. Of course you do. Then things sort of start getting, when people start knocking on your door saying, how do I get rid of mosquitoes? That's when you think we've maybe gone too far with the services. And that's the truth. I'll tell you about that one day.
Actually, we will be the one asking you one day.
You wouldn't believe what this person said, but that's another story. But when it comes to serious things, there's people here. There's people here that will do it, and you reach out. And again, that's where this thing of this club almost that we want to say to people to join to a certain extent, that they're home in Italy. That's that side of it. Hopefully, none of us are ever going to need it, but there's people there. Silvana's been to specialist appointments. I can understand somebody being worried, but it's getting across to people that you're not on your own, not just from our side, but also from other expats in the area. And but you'll always find somebody that can speak English, that can speak both languages. But it's, I think the language thing, looking at it all, we joke about the customer service, and even though I don't even want to go down that line again. I think the language is the huge one, isn't it? I think that is the big elephant in the room for some people, and I can completely understand why. I'm fortunate that I've not had to have that because Silvana, but I've still been in situations on my own where I've had that. But I think it is worth really throwing yourself into the language. I know you guys are, and you've got the 3 days a week and all that. But I think it's the meeting people and the importance of being with other Italians, because that's the only way it's going to happen for you. Where you can really comfortably speak.
We love the expats. We love spending time with them, but we limit the time we spend with expats because the commitment has to be with the locals. Otherwise, we'll never learn the language.
Yeah. Okay, guys, you've been amazing as usual. Keep sending your messages that you do, Matt. I do love getting a message from you every now and then, especially some of your vocal messages. I'm gonna put them all together one day, and I'll play it as a live, just so people can hear how crazy you really are.
Well, we have fun, that's for sure, and we appreciate you. We appreciate Silvana, and we love your team. Tony's okay, but we love your team.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Have a great rest of the evening.
Thank you so much, Nader. Thank you very much as well. And hopefully, if the weather changes, we may do that pool thing that we were supposed to do last year.
We will now, baby. We're here full time, and I know where you live.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. We'll see you guys really soon. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you both again. We'll see you soon. We'll have to do this again. We need to carry it on a bit further, I think. I think there's more discussion in this, but
Sì.
thank you
Sì,
so much.
capisco.
Buona serata.
Sì, buona serata.
Thank you
Ci
very much.
vediamo in giro.
Va benissimo. Superb. What a great couple they are. Thank you so much for doing it again, coming onto the program. And it's we do obviously get a number of you coming on here, and I think it's good to hear from people that are living here as well. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that one. I don't want to certainly put but there's nothing on any of these lists, and I think they'll say the same, that would put any of us off doing what we've done. They're just realities. They're just realities that I think everybody should sort of really think about. The language is huge. I'm going to say that. Don't let it put you off, because the only way to learn it is by immersing yourself, and you will get satisfaction from that as well. And even after being here 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, you're still not going to be fluent, but you're going to be so much further on, and your life will change again for the relationships that you have with people. You'll have that. It's weird. When I first started coming here, I had relationships with people that once I learned the language, that changed, but changed in a nice way, because you get even more out of it. So it's like it's a gift that keeps on giving. That's where it is. Anyway, thank you. Somebody's saying, let the 90-year-old lady go. I'm terrible, aren't I? I probably shouldn't have said that, but you'll see what happens when you're in a queue and some 90-year-old lady pushes in front of you. You're going to say, Dave was right. I didn't shove her too hard, by the way, just in case any of you. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining. Sorry about the little technical problem that we had. I hope you did enjoy that one. I hope I've not put anybody off. It's all joking aside, but there are realities to it. But living here is incredible. I've always said it. I will always say it. But look at these realities. Think about the language. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just do what it takes to learn as much as you can. And piano, as everybody said. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic Easter, everybody. Hopefully with friends and families. Have an amazing Easter. We should still be doing next Wednesday. I'm saying should. I have my sister-in-law and niece and nephew who we've not seen for a long time coming over, but I am planning on doing next Wednesday, and I think it's going to possibly be either a Q&A or a meet the home buyers. I'm just going through which ones we're going to do. So you'll just look out for the adverts. Hopefully it's going to be next Wednesday at 7 p.m. That's the plan, but I will put an advert on sort of early next week, and then the week after back to normal then, until the tours are there, till the April tour comes later in the month. But have a fantastic Easter, everybody. What can I say? Thank you for your support as usual, and we'll see you all really soon.